Hi there, and welcome to Gaming in Public Markets Report. Let's start with the performance of individual companies. Roblox stock, following a 22% decline after the release of the worse-than-expected first quarter earnings report in May, made a rebound in June, achieving an 11% increase. Krafton, the Korean game developer behind the global hit game PUBG, continues to show impressive growth. In June, the consensus analyst target price increased by 3%, while the stock itself had an upside of 13%. This growth is driven by PUBG's excellent performance, record high company revenues with strong margins. GDEV saw a 35% increase in its stock price in June. It is worth mentioning that GDEV recently obtained analyst coverage from two prominent investment banks, Cantor Fitzgerald and Oppenheimer. According to analyst consensus, GDEV's fair value isn't fully reflected in its share price. Ubisoft experienced a 10% drop in its stock price in June. This decline is despite the Ubisoft Forward event, which showcased details on upcoming games such as Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Prince of Persia. Notably, Ubisoft's new multiplayer shooter X-Defiant, according to reports, hit 1 million players in less than 3 hours, making it the biggest Ubisoft launch in history. However, there are still significant doubts about X-Defiant's potential to become an evergreen franchise. Embracer stock dropped by 12% over the month despite news of partially repaying $300 million of its $1.5 billion debt following the recent sale of Gearbox Entertainment to Take-Two. The decline occurred even though Embracer plans to release 70 game projects before next March. Shares of the Swedish mobile game developer Stillfront fell by 16%. According to Data.ai, the company's recent mobile revenue declined in the single digits compared to the beginning of the year, amid increased marketing expenditures in the first quarter. It is worth noting that stock price decline occurred despite an ongoing share repurchase program. Pullup Ent, recently rebranded from Focus Entertainment, reported results for the last financial year. A slight revenue decline, weak margins, and a net income loss pushed its share price down by 40% over the past month. However, Pullup could see a rebound next year with its ambitious lineup, including a new Warhammer title. And finally, in the review of gaming companies, I can't skip over the legendary video game store GameStop. In early June, GameStop stocks increased by 76%, primarily due to the return of a roaring kitty on YouTube. A key figure in the 2021 GameStop short squeeze, he resumed posting on social media after a 3-year hiatus. However, just a day later, GameStop unexpectedly revealed its first quarter earnings report, which fell short of analyst expectations. The company reported a significant drop in net sales and the net loss that was slightly higher than projected. It caused the stock to drop by more than 39% in a single day. As a result, the stock price in June ended up falling by 12% by the end of the month. If we look at the whole gaming market, diversified game companies, which combine products across various platforms, collectively increased their overall capitalization by 3% in June. However, their year-to-date performance remains at minus 3%. In contrast, pure mobile companies saw a decline of 6% in June following strong performance in May. Additionally, the Vaneck video gaming and esports ETF, one of the major gaming indices, grew by 3% in June and has increased nearly 12% year-to-date. Looking ahead at projected valuation metrics for gaming companies over the next 12 months, we may observe a decline in EV to revenue consensus estimates for the mobile-only companies in the past month. In contrast, diversified companies have seen an uptick in these estimates, largely driven by growth in their enterprise value. Similarly, the EV to EBITDA ratios for diversified companies have shown an increase, reflecting the trend in their valuation metrics. Also, let's review the macroeconomic landscape and capital market performance in June. Inflation continues to exceed the Federal Reserve's target although the core price index showed improvement in May, marking its slowest increase in nearly 3 years. Despite these concerns, major market indices are hovering near record highs, driven significantly by advancements in AI technologies. The stock market has displayed resilience, fueled by expectation of potential rate cuts by the Fed rather than rate hikes. This sentiment has bolstered bullish momentum throughout the year, despite occasional market fluctuations. In June, the S&P 500 gained 3.5%, bringing its year-to-date increase to 15%. Similarly, the NASDAQ Composite rose 6% in June, accumulating a year-to-date growth in 20%. One of the hottest topics in recent months has been Hamster Kombat, a popular Telegram-based game where gameplay revolves around clicking on a hamster to earn in-game points. These coins are planned to be released as crypto tokens in the future, potentially allowing players to earn from them. Despite the challenge to categorize it as a game and the cautious sentiment surrounding anything crypto-related, the gaming industry cannot ignore this phenomenon, which has already attracted more than 200 million users in just a few months. For perspective, games like Roblox took years and significant marketing budgets to achieve similar user bases. As a playful experience, let's attempt to estimate hypothetical valuation of Hamster Kombat if it were a full-fledged company and compare it with traditional gaming giants. However, due to its current lack of revenue and income, traditional valuation metrics like EV to revenue and EV to EBITDA cannot be directly applied. Also, the concept behind Hamster Kombat is not entirely new, as it mirrors the idea of Notcoin, another clicker game. While Notcoin gathered 30 million users, significantly fewer than Hamster, its total cryptocurrency market capitalization reached $1.5 billion by early July 2024. If we consider cryptocurrencies similar to shares in a company, Notcoin's market cap of $1.5 billion is quite a lot for the industry. Taking a similar approach and assuming a proportional market cap per user basis, Hamster Kombat's valuation would exceed $10 billion, equivalent to the combined market value of 4 Ubisofts or 3 Embracers. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to GDEV Pulse. See you next time.